The last 24 hours on death row, what prisoners go through before execution. At 5:59 a.m., the hallway is silent. No shouting, no alarms, just the slow sound of boots on concrete. In a small cell at the end of the row, a man is awake. He has been awake all night, because in the next 24 hours, the state will end his life. This is not a movie. This is not a rumor. This is what the last 24 hours on death row really feels like. And almost no one talks about it. The morning you are told it's time. The day starts earlier than usual on death row. Before the sun comes up, guards begin their rounds. Not fast, not loud. Everything moves slower on purpose. The prison wants the day to feel calm, controlled. At around 6 a.m., the cell door opens. The prisoner already knows why. He has known this day was coming for years. Appeals have ended. Dates were set and moved before. But this time, it is final. No more court papers. No more waiting for a phone call that might save him. A guard speaks clearly, but not cruelly. Today is the day. No yelling, no emotion, just facts. The prisoner is given breakfast. It looks like every other prison meal. Eggs, toast, a small carton of milk. Some prisoners eat. Many don't. Food feels strange when you know you won't need energy tomorrow. After breakfast, the cell is cleaned. Not by the prisoner, by officers. The walls are checked. The floor is wiped. Every item is counted. The room must be perfect. The prisoner is allowed a shower. A long one. Hot water. Longer than usual. Some men cry in the shower. Some just stand there, letting the water hit their face, pretending it's any other day. When the shower ends, the clothes are different. Clean prison clothes. Fresh. Pressed. This is not kindness. This is procedure. Around mid-morning, the prisoner meets people he hasn't seen in years. A lawyer may come. The lawyer's face looks tired. There is nothing left to say except, "We tried." Sometimes there is silence. Sometimes apologies. Sometimes anger. A chaplain comes next. This happens no matter what the prisoner believes. Prayer is offered. Some accept. Some refuse. Some ask questions they never cared about before. Will it hurt? Will it be fast? Will God forgive me? No one gives clear answers. Then comes the hardest part of the morning. The phone call. The prisoner is allowed to call family. Maybe a mother, a sister, a grown child. Sometimes the call doesn't connect. Sometimes the person on the other end is crying so hard they can't speak. The prisoner tries to sound strong. "I'm okay. I love you." Tell them I'm sorry. The call ends quickly. Not because they want it to, but because time is no longer theirs. When the phone is taken away, the cell feels smaller than ever. The prisoner sits on the bed, hands shaking, heart racing, thoughts moving too fast. Memories come without warning. Childhood, mistakes, the moment that led here. Some prisoners say this is when regret finally feels real. Others feel nothing at all. Outside the cell, the prison keeps working like normal. Lunch is served to other inmates. Guards joke quietly. Paperwork is signed. But for the man in that cell, time has changed. Every minute now has weight. And as the afternoon slowly approaches, something else is coming next. Because soon, the prison will ask him one final question. What he wants for his last meal. The last meal and the long afternoon. By early afternoon, the prison feels heavy. Not loud, not violent, just heavy. This is when the prisoner is asked about his last meal. A guard stands at the cell door with a clipboard. The question is asked calmly, like it's no big deal. What do you want to eat tonight? Some prisoners have known the answer for years. Others can't think at all. Food suddenly feels meaningless. How do you choose a meal when you know it's the last thing you will ever taste? Some men ask for comfort food. Fried chicken, burgers, ice cream, things that remind them of home. Others choose simple meals. A sandwich, coffee, pie, and some refuse completely. I don't want anything. The guard writes it down either way. No reaction, no judgment. The prison will try to make it exactly right. Not because they care, but because everything must be done by the rules. After the meal choice is taken, the waiting begins. This is the longest part of the day. There is nothing to do. No TV, no books, no distractions. Just sitting, The prisoner is checked every 15 minutes. Guards look through the window to make sure he is alive, breathing, and not hurting himself. Suicide is not allowed, not today. The execution belongs to the state. The prisoner may pace the cell, sit on the bed, lie down and stay at the ceiling. Time moves strangely now. Minutes feel like hours. Hours feel like seconds. Thoughts become loud. Some prisoners replay their crime over and over. Others try not to think about it at all. Many think about the people they hurt. Some think about the people they love. Some think about how scared they are but don't want anyone to know. In the mid-afternoon, the chaplain may return. This visit is different from the morning. Now it's more personal. The chaplain might sit on the floor outside the cell. They talk quietly. About forgiveness. About fear. About what comes after death. The prisoner might ask for prayer. I just want someone to listen. For some men, this is the first time they admit the truth out loud. I messed up. I hurt people. I wish I could take it back. Others stay silent. At around 4 p.m., paperwork moves fast behind the scenes. The warden checks documents. The execution team is notified. The medical staff prepares equipment. Everything is double-checked, triple-checked, because once the next step begins, it cannot be stopped unless a phone rings. Every death row prisoner knows this. That phone is the only thing standing between life and death. Sometimes, in very rare cases, it does ring. A last-minute stay, a judge's order, a miracle, but most days, it stays silent. As evening gets closer, the prisoner's last meal arrives. It is served alone. No tray swapped with others. No noise. Just a guard sliding the food through the slot. The prisoner eats slowly, or not at all. Each bite feels heavy. This is the last normal human act he will ever do. When the tray is taken away, the cell is empty again. The lights are brighter now. They stay on. Sleep is no longer expected. The prisoner is told to rest, but rest doesn't come. Because as night falls, something changes. The air feels tighter. The footsteps outside the cell become more frequent. And everyone knows what comes next. Because when the sun goes down, the prison begins preparing for the final walk. The final hours before the walk. As night settles in, the prison no longer feels like a normal place. The lights stay on. The doors sound louder. Every step echoes. This is when reality fully hits. Around 7 p.m., the prisoner is told to stand up. Not to leave yet, just to stand. Guards check his hands, his clothes, his body. Nothing sharp. Nothing hidden. Everything must be controlled. His personal items are taken away. Letters, photos, a wedding ring, a drawing from a child. These items will be packed into a box and sent to family later. The prisoner watches them disappear, one by one. It feels like his life is being erased in front of him. The guards are calm, but serious now. They are no longer just guards. They are part of the process. The prisoner may ask questions. What time is it? How long do I have? Will my family know? Answers are short, honest, careful. Around 8 p.m., witnesses begin arriving in another part of the prison. Media, victim's family, government officials. They are placed in a waiting room. They don't see the prisoner yet, but they know he is close. The prisoner feels this. Even without seeing them, he knows people are gathering to watch him die. The chaplain comes back one last time. This visit is short. The chaplain asks if the prisoner wants prayer. If yes, they pray quietly through the bars. If not, the chaplain still stays nearby, just in case. Some prisoners cry now. Some shake. Some go completely still. Fear shows itself in different ways. At around 9 p.m., the warden makes a final check. He confirms the prisoner's name, the crime, the sentence, the time. Everything matches. If a call were to come now, from a governor or judge, the execution would stop instantly. Everyone knows this. Everyone listens for the phone. It does not ring. At about 10 p.m., the prisoner is told to sit on the bed. This is the last quiet moment. No talking, no movement, just breathing. The prisoner may whisper words to himself. A prayer, a goodbye, a memory. Then the door opens. Two guards step in. They are respectful, calm, firm. It's time. The prisoner stands up. His legs may feel weak. Some men need help walking. Others walk straight, trying to keep dignity until the very end. His hands are cuffed in front of him, not behind. This is done on purpose, to reduce fear. The hallway outside the cell is empty. This walk is slow. Every step sounds loud. Boots on concrete. Chains softly moving. This is called the final walk. As he moves down the hallway, doors pass by. Other inmates may be silent. Some pray. Some press their faces to the bars. Everyone knows what this walk means. The prisoner does not look back. At the end of the hallway is a closed door. Behind that door is the execution chamber. The guards stop. They pause. The prisoner takes one more breath. And before the door opens, one final moment remains. Because the state still has one last thing to ask him. His final words. Final words in the execution chamber. The door opens slowly. Inside the execution chamber, everything is quiet and bright. The room is clean, almost too clean. White walls. A single bed in the center. Straps lying flat and ready. This is where it ends. The prisoner is guided inside. Not pushed, not rushed, just guided. On one side of the room, behind thick glass, the witnesses are already there. The victim's family, a few reporters, state officials. They sit in rows, silent. Some stay. Some look away. Some hold hands. The prisoner is helped onto the bed. He lies down on his back. Guards gently strap his arms, legs, and chest. Each strap is checked twice. Not tight enough to hurt. Just enough so he cannot move. A medical team enters the room. Their faces are serious. Professional. They do not speak to the prisoner unless necessary. And foreline is placed in his arm. Sometimes this part takes a long time. Veins can be hard to find, especially in people who have been in prison for many years. The prisoner may flinch. He may look away. He may stay at the ceiling. Once the four is ready, the room becomes completely still. The warden steps forward. He looks at the prisoner and asks the final question. Do you have any last words? This moment is powerful. The prisoner knows everyone is listening. Not just in the room, but outside. His words may be written down, quoted, remembered forever. Some prisoners apologize. I'm sorry for the pain I caused. Some speak to their family. I love you. Please forgive me. Some speak to the victim's family. I know I can't fix what I did. And some say nothing at all. They just shake their head. Silence is also an answer. After the final words, the warden nods and steps back. The curtains to the witness room open fully. Everyone can see clearly now. The prisoner's breathing is fast. His chest rises and falls. His eyes may be open. He may blink. He may whisper one last prayer. A guard asks one final time if there is a stay of execution. There is none. The warden gives the signal. The execution begins. The chemicals flow through the four. This part is quiet. There is no countdown. No loud noise. Just a slow process. The prisoner's breathing begins to slow. His chest moves less and less. The room stays silent. Minutes pass. A doctor checks for signs of life. Listens to the heart. Looks at the eyes. Finally, the doctor steps back and nods. The warden speaks the final sentence. The prisoner is pronounced dead. The time is recorded. The witnesses are led out quietly. Some cry. Some remain still. Some leave quickly without looking back. The body is unstrapped. The prison does not celebrate. There is no emotion shown. Just procedure. But outside the chamber, life continues. Paperwork must be finished. Phones must be answered. Guards must return to their posts. And somewhere in the prison, another inmate lies awake in his cell. Because death row does not end with one execution. And what happens after the chamber doors close is something most people never see. After the execution, when the prison goes quiet, when the chamber doors close, the prison does not return to normal. Not right away. The body is moved carefully to another room. A clean sheet is placed over it. The face is covered. The man who was alive an hour ago is now just paperwork and procedure. A death certificate is filled out. Time of death. Cause of death. Signatures. Everything is written down. The body will be released to the family, if they want it. Some families do. Some don't. Some cannot afford burial. These details are handled quietly, away from cameras and witnesses. The execution team changes clothes. Some wash their hands for a long time. Some avoid eye contact. They are trained for this, but training does not erase feelings. They do not talk about it. Back on death row, the lights stay on. The other inmates know it is over. They heard the footsteps earlier. They felt the silence. They counted the minutes. No announcement is made to them. No explanation is needed. Some inmates pray in their cells. Some sit on their beds, staring at the wall. Some cry quietly into their hands. A few cells down from where the executed prisoner once lived, his cell is now empty. The bed is bare. The toilet unused. The walls quiet. Guards do not rush to fill it. That cell will stay empty for a while. This is not written in the rules, but it happens often. Even prisons seem to need time. Later that night, the chaplain walks the row one last time. He does not stop at every cell. He just walks. His presence alone is enough. Some inmates whisper good night. Some say nothing. Outside the prison, families are reacting. The victim's family may feel relief, or sadness, or nothing at all. Many say the execution did not bring the peace they expected. The prisoner's family is grieving in private. A phone call, a knock on the door, a simple sentence. It's over. No matter what side they are on, lives are being changed forever. By early morning, the prison starts to wake up again. Breakfast trays roll down hallways. Guards switch shifts. Paperwork moves forward. The system keeps going. But for the men still on death row, something is different now. They are thinking about the timeline. The last meal. The last walk. The last words. Because every execution is also a reminder. One day, it will be their turn. And the clock never stops ticking. What happens next for the prisoners who remain? How will they live knowing they could be next? And what the final days feel like when the date is still unknown? That part of the story is still coming. When the clock never stops. The last 24 hours on death row are not loud. They are not dramatic like the movies. They are quiet, slow, heavy. From the moment the prisoner is told today is the day, every second becomes real. Every step, every breath, every goodbye. It is a day filled with waiting. Waiting for food that may not be eaten. Waiting for a phone that never rings. Waiting for a walk that no one wants to take. No matter how people feel about the death penalty, one truth remains the same. This is a human being's final day on earth. Behind the walls and razor wire, life does not end with chaos. It ends with silence. And when the chamber doors close, the world moves on, even though one life has just stopped. For the families left behind, the pain continues. For the victims, the loss can never be undone. And for the prisoners still on death row, the message is clear. The clock is always ticking. Somewhere right now, a man is lying awake in a small cell, counting footsteps, listening for keys, wondering when his name will be called. Because on death row, tomorrow is never promised. And when the last 24 hours begin, there is no turning back. If this story made you think, share your thoughts in the comments. Subscribe for the next chapter, where we explore what it's like to live on death row when you don't know your execution date. Because some stories don't end with death. They end with waiting.